Howdy YouTube, it's me TFL Wilderness. Welcome to my channel and welcome to the third and final KTRT review of this month. Yes, and it's another Tobot V Season 3 Wave 1 bot. The only one I haven't actually done yet. Yeah, so I started off with number 3, Jet Thunder, and then I did number 1, Tachyon. So there's only one number left. Number 2, Wild Thunder. Right, so before I actually show you the figure, quick look at the box. I like to show the boxes off. Typical Korean box, cardboard box, large plastic window, plastic clamshell inside with a like a silvery reflective card in the back. Lots of nice artwork of the character on the front, obviously CGI artwork. You got the little window for the toe key. Then you got stuff on the side. On the other side, you've got his name, Tobot V Season 3 Wild Chief, and then Tobot logo on the top, and product information on the bottom. Nice sturdy box, quite narrow this one compared to some of the others. I mean, Jet Thunder's box was a lot wider than this. This guy's got quite a slimline box, but yeah. So that's the box out of the way. So the figure itself. Now, out of the 3 figures from Wave 1. I would have to say that this one is probably the best out of the 3. I mean, I was a little underwhelmed and disappointed with Jet Thunder, mainly because the wing kibble was a bit excessive on it, and there was a few sort of articulation joints which didn't work out, and also the usual stuff that's on these figures like the leg proportions and stuff like that. Yeah, so he didn't quite measure up to my my expectations, but mind you, I was on the fence about getting that guy anyway, so. Hardly any surprise that when I get him he was a little disappointing. Then I did Tachyon. Now Tachyon, actually he looks really good. He's got an amazing looking alt mode, he's got a cool looking robot mode, very striking blue and white colours. Again, a few articulation bits that aren't quite what you'd expect. He's got some issues with leg proportions and lack of articulation on his knees and stuff, usual sort of thing, but a pretty good bot overall. But then there's this guy. So here he is. Here's Wild Chief in his alt mode, and it's an awesome looking, off-road SUV type vehicle. Mostly based on the Hummer H2. I mean, you can see from the side, it's definitely got the same sort of similar profile to a Hummer H2, and then it's got like the little sort of like back end again of a Hummer H2. But then you look at the front and the grille. The grille is like totally different. It's a very reminiscent of a Series 2 Land Rover. It's got the central grille. It's got the 2 sort of light pods either side, with a large round headlight and the 2 marker lights, the indicator and the side light down the side. So it's got styling cues from those 2 vehicles, from like a Land Rover and a Hummer H2. But so many details on this thing. I mean, on top he's got a fairly sizable roof rack, and it's also the place where the toe key mounts to vehicle mode. It's got some little lights there on the brow of the front windscreen. Look at the front windscreen. You can see it's black plastic, but it's got like a sort of like a silver painted frame around the outside with wipers picked out in silver. It's got some details on the hood or the bonnet. It's got a nice little W badge on the front there. Again, you've got the grille and the lights. Then you go on to the front bumper, very chunky front bumper, very similar to a Land Rover front bumper, I think. It's got like these large bar overriders. It's got like some big old towing shackles off the front. It's got like a winch detail as well, and some little marker lights there. And you go round to the side, it's got like these large wheel arches. It's got suitably large wheels with chunky sort of cross-country tyres. Nice details picked out. You've got like the door mirror, and then you've got the hinge detail for the doors, and then the door handles. And again, silver frames around the windows on the doors. Some nice white striping down the sides. Moving to the back, again, some more detail. It's got like a step on the side there, and yeah. Then moving down around to the back, it's got transparent red lights It's got, like, again, a chunky bumper with some more light detail, some more sort of like underriders, and then you've got these sort of bars up the top. So it's got lots and lots of suitable details picked out for his alt mode. It's got large wheels which roll exceedingly well, so this guy will, you know, run on any surface pretty good. It's got a decent ground clearance, even though it's got a few bits sort of hanging down underneath. It's still, you know, it's got a reasonable ground clearance for, you know, the off-road style vehicle that it's supposed to represent. Again, it's got a decent weight to it. It pegs together very firmly. Nice solid vehicle mode. Looks super, super cool. I really, really appreciate that. Now, there is an interesting thing in this. I mean, I could sort of get ahead of myself. You can actually pop the guy's head out in vehicle mode. There's a little square underneath, and there's this roller which, when you're transforming in, it pushes his head up, but you can do it manually. Hang on. There we go. So yeah, you can you can plug his head up, so he can stick his head up and drive along. That's just a little little trick you can do, but we'll put it back away again, because we'll need it a bit later when we get around to transformation, which we're moving on to next. But yeah, like I said, underneath it's got the usual sort of folded up bits of robot. You know, you got the elbows of the arms, and then you got the thighs of the legs. But like I said, nice big vehicle mode, nice big rolly wheels, goes really well. So it's a Tobot. Tobots have a toe key. Here's Wild Chief's toe key. It's a big chunky one with a number 2 stamped on it. Again, it's made out of metal. And as I said, these are the Tobot figures. As with the original Tobot figures, the whole point of the toe key is you stick it into the vehicle, you either push it in or you turn it, and it helps unlock the transformation. Now, some of the figures, that's barely necessary. But this guy, actually, he's one of those where, you know, it does actually make a difference having this. You know, you can pull the guy apart without it, but he has a small slot in the top which isn't obviously visible. You plug the key in, give it a turn, and it starts, you know, splitting the vehicle apart for transformation. So we'll put that together, because he plugs together very firmly. You can sort of break it yourself, but the key actually does work quite well in breaking it open to start the transformation. So that's pretty good. But so we can put the toe key down, and then we can start with the transformation. So as we've split the vehicle mode up, start. So you can sort of bring that down for now, and then you can start folding out the legs like that. Go around the back, split the legs, and you've got a foot. Well, actually no. First of all, you go around the front, and then you have this this roof rack thing. You unplug it, and it's on a hinge joint, and there's another peg further up, so you just move that out of the way. Then you get these the footsees, and fold them round, and then you just fold these bits to fill in the back of the legs. So that's the legs done. Now, vehicle mode, or the torso mode, right? Or the torso. The arms are folded in here. You can sort of start folding the arms out. Then you can split the shoulders and pull the shoulders out. You pull them back, one click, and then they hinge out on these joints. And now this is where you need to pop the head up, because these sliding joints, they slip in that way, and and they hold the head into place. So you've got the torso is on this double joint here, so you just fold that up, and then the head pops up. Let's do that again, like so. And then when the head's up, you push the shoulders in, and that locks it into place. Now, straighten the arms out, and then you rotate them to face forwards. and then these shoulder pieces, which actually, if you pull the arm back out, you turn this shoulder piece round so it's facing that way. And then the same goes for this one. Twizzle them round, and that's the shoulder pieces done. And I think that is everything. So there we have Wild Chief in his robot mode. The only thing left is to plug in the toe key, which goes in on his shoulder, though he does have place on his leg as well. Down here he's got another place where you can plug it in on his leg, so it's up to you. But in the show it plugs in on his shoulder. So there we have Wild Chief in his robot mode, and he looks really cool. A lot of detail picked out here. They've obviously got the front end of the vehicle becomes his chest. He's got that fairly typical head sculpt that these Tobot V figures have. Now they have, well, now some of them have a big blocky chunk on top of their head, which is unusual. Now this guy has light piping. He has pretty awesome light piping. He's got light piping for the chunk on the top of his head, and he's also got light piping for his eyes. And this is very unusual. I mean, I can't think of another Korean toy that I've got that's actually got, you know, light piping. And none of the other figures in the Tobot V line have it, as far as I'm aware. This is a first for this guy, and I really appreciate that. So that's really cool that he's got light piping. Again, going down, looking at the details, he's got these extra sort of details picked out on the thighs. All the roof rack detail becomes leg detail on his robot mode. He's got his feet sticking out the bottom. The rear bumper, his splits become shin guards, or well, knee guards. And then his arms have a decent amount of detail on them as well. A lot of tech detail, which is really cool. Oh, one thing I forgot to do. You've got to fold them in as well. Yeah, a little transformation step that I missed out. So yeah, you fold the wheels in to form in his waist. Yeah, so turning round, he's a pretty clean bot. You're looking from the rear. Obviously you've got the wheels on the back of his legs. Hardly any kibble sticking out. It's all tucked away, or he's formed out of the large chunks of the vehicle mode, which is really cool. Articulation on this guy. Now this guy, the articulation is pretty damn good. Start off with the head. He has got a ball jointed head, which has got excellent range of motion. It's got a huge sideways waggle, and he's got an up and a down, and turns all around. So it's a ball jointed on a bit of a stem, but it gives it a really good range of motion. Not to mention, obviously, like I said, it's got light piping as well. So the head sculpt, very, very, very good. The arms, now, the shoulders fold round. I mean, you've got this bit sticking out here, which does hit the the side of the vehicle. You can, if you really want to, you can pull that out, and then the arm will go all round. It also gives it a bit of a butterfly joint, though it's a bit loose because it's not meant to be an articulation joint. The arm folds up to there and down. It's got a double elbow, even though because of the chunk of the vehicle mode in the way he can't quite get a full curl on his arm. He can get like 90 degrees, and then you can get about that much, which is still pretty good. It's a lot better than most bots you can name. So he's got a good curl on his arms. He's got bicep swivel. Again, it's part of the transformation, but totally works. Got a bicep swivel. Nothing at the waist. No waist joint. However, because of the way the transformation works, he's got an ab crunch. You know, 2 clicks of ab crunch. Yeah, so that totally works as an ab crunch. Then moving down to the legs. Now, the legs are quite good on this guy. He does have a thigh swivel. It's inside the top of the leg, as you can see. And it has a very limited range of motion, mainly because you get these like, I don't know what you call them, these collars on the top of the thigh, which stick up above the joint, and they restrict the motion a little bit, but you get a little bit of twist. A little bit of twist there. Not great, but at least it's got them. At least he's got 5 swivels. Then the hips. Again, amazing spread. Moving forwards. You can get the legs quite far forward, though you have to tilt them out again because of these bits sticking off the top of the thighs. And then going back, there's a bit of a clash going there, so you have to move it out, and then you can kick right far back. The knees. Now he's got double jointed knees due to transformation, but because he's got all this stuff that folds in on the back of his legs, it kind of restricts that a little bit. So you've got 2 clicks on the lower joint, and then you've got these smaller clicks on the upper joints. And then if you open that, you can get the full curl on his leg. So he's got a lot going on. The feet, they're just static feet. They just bend in and out. They're clicking in and out on a joint, but they have that usual angled cut for a neutral A stance. So there we go. He's decently articulated. He's got a lot more joints going on than other Korean toys I can name. He's got double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. He's got a bicep swivel, and you can argue he's got a kind of a thigh swivel as well. No waist joint, but makes up for that with his sort of faux ab crunch, and an awesome head sculpt that can move all over the place. So he's really, really good. He's awesome, and I genuinely say that this guy is in my opinion, he's the best figure out of Wave 1 of the Tobot V line, V3, maybe even Wave 2 as well. He's really, really cool. He's really, really awesome. Now, quick size comparison, obviously, because that's something that I do. There he is next to Combiner Wars Megs, and as you can see, slightly shorter than a full Combiner, well, for a full leader class figure. So he's pretty big and pretty chunky. And also, unlike some other Tobot V figures, he's got a decent proportion on his legs. He's got a decent thigh length compared to his shins. So, his legs do have a decent range of motion because of that. That's something they should have looked into on the other figures that they did, like Leo Kaiser and Tachyon and all those others. So yeah, that's really good that we got that. He's a really cool looking bot. Nice aesthetic, awesome alt mode, great robot mode, decently articulated. A lot going on for this guy. I can thoroughly recommend him to anyone who likes to collect these Korean toys. Get this guy. He's really, really good. So with that said, that's been me, TFR Wilderness. That's my reviews done for this month. I have got another Korean toy inbound. Like I said, I bought it off AliExpress, so it's a Chinese made Korean figure. Yeah, that will hopefully be the subject of the first review next month. So that's it. We're all done. I will. Next video will be my end of month bot haul, which is coming in a couple of days' time. So I will see you then. Goodbye.